bleed and bleed and bleed on everything he loves. Hi everybody, yes, I'm in the same outfit. What you gonna do about it? I'm reacting to Dominique Christina's The Period poem. Poem.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, I hand to hold on to.
Before you turn this off just because you heard the word period, don't be weird. That's all I have to say to you. Don't be weird. If you're a girl and talking about your period makes you uncomfortable, this is for you. If you're a guy and hearing things about periods and menstruation makes you uncomfortable, this is for you. This is 2020. It's time for us to educate ourselves. It's time for us to elevate ourselves. It's time for us to be better people in general. So this is for you, okay? Don't leave. Don't. Backstory for this poem is,
let me be very clear. I wrote this poem with a very specific intent. I have a 13-year-old daughter. It is important to me that I throw every part of my experience and whatever wisdom I've gleaned from that, every part of my backbone toward her, to sustain her, to offer her language that lifts her up and keeps her up. That said, there is for me a necessary conversation that seeks to undermine the shaming that happens to some girls around menstruation. I had that experience of starting my period in 7th grade, boys, finding out that I had started my period, and then, it was some shit. Like, I'd be in the class with the frantic, like, gotta go to the bathroom now, wave, and then be like, you're in a period, aren't you? That dumb shit.
a dummy on Twitter tweeted something very insensitive about females and their uteri, and so this lady wrote this poem in response to the dummy on Twitter. Let's go into it. Oh, sorry, by the way, the poem has a lot of swearing, so apologies if you are sensitive to swearing.
Dear nameless dummy on Twitter, you're the reason my daughter cried funeral tears when she started her period. The sudden grief all young girls feel after the matriculation from childhood and the induction into a reality that they gonna have to negotiate you and your disdain for what a woman's body can do. Herein begins an anatomy lesson infused with feminist politics because I hate you. There is a thing called a uterus. It sheds itself every 28 days or so, or in my case, every 23 days. I've always been a rule breaker. That's the anatomy part. I digress. The feminist politic part is that women know how to let things go, how to let a dying thing leave the body, how to become new, how to regenerate, how to wax and wane, not unlike the moon and tides, both of which influence how you behave. I digress. Women have vaginas that can speak to each other. By this I mean, when we're with our friends, our sisters, our mothers, our menstrual cycles will actually sync the fuck up. My own cervix is mad influential. Everybody I love knows how to bleed with me. Hold on to that. There's a metaphor in it. Hold on to that. But when your mother carried you, the ocean in her belly is what made you buoyant, made you possible. You had it under your tongue when you burst through her skin, wet and panting from the heat of her body, the body whose machinery you now mock on social media. That body wrapped you in everything that was miraculous about it and sung you lullabies laced in platelets, without which you wouldn't have no Twitter account at all, motherfucker. I digress. See, it's possible that we know the world better because of the blood that visits some of us. It interrupts our favorite white skirts and shows up at dinner parties unannounced. Blood will do that, period. It will come when you are not prepared for it. Blood does that. Period. Blood is the biggest siren, and we understand that blood misbehaves. It does not wait for a hand signal or a welcome sign above the door. And when you deal in blood over and over again like we do, when it keeps returning to you, well, that makes you a warrior. And while all good generals know not to discuss battle plans with the enemy, let me say this to you, dummy, on Twitter.
Hey, I had to pause. Blood interrupts. Blood comes unannounced. We are warriors. As you all know that a good general does not discuss war plans with the enemy. Hey, do you hear that? Like, okay, blood does interrupt, but I can I share this? I don't know if I can share this. I speak with my period. Okay, there's a time when my period ignored me, like she stopped speaking to me completely, but generally I do speak with my period. I'll be just like, oh, I call her Piri. I know. And I'm just like, Piri, is that you? Piri, what are we doing? Piri, don't do this to me. Okay, sometimes she doesn't listen, but yeah, damn, wow, dummy on Twitter is being told, guys, like, don't be dumb. Just don't be dumb. Let's go.
If there's any balance in the universe at all, you're gonna be blessed with daughters. Blessed. Etymologically, blessed means to make bleed. See, now it's a lesson in linguistics. In other words, blood speaks. That's the message. Stay with me. See, your daughter's gonna teach you what all men must one day come to know, that women made of moonlight, magic, and macabre will make you know the blood. We gonna get it all over the sheets and car seats. We gonna do that. We gonna introduce you to our insides, period. And if you are as unprepared as we sometimes are, it'll get all over you and leave a forever stain. So to my daughter,
can we discuss that? That we will leave our blood everywhere. I know, okay, it's not okay. Don't go around leaving your prints everywhere, but it happens. Why am I laughing? Grow the hell up. It happens, okay? Accidents happen, and you should not be ashamed. I mean, yes, it's a little bit, oh no, I spoiled, but it happens. And I think, pretending that it doesn't happen does not help. Like I keep reiterating, we need to talk about things. We need to make things plain, make it open. It's not a secret. Blood sometimes cannot be controlled, and it happens. And it's sometimes very disappointing when you wake up in a pool of your own blood. Yes, it happens. You're just like, really? Why? But it happens, and I don't think you should be too ashamed about it, because like I keep saying, it happens. Let's go on.
Fool, mishandle the wild geography of your body. How it rides a red running current. Like any good wolf or witch, well then just bleed, boo. Give that blood a biblical name. Something of stone and mortar. Name it after Eve's first rebellion in that garden. Name it after the last little girl to have her genitals mutilated in Kinshasa. That was this morning. Give it as many syllables as there are unreported rape cases. Name the blood something holy, something mighty, something unlanguageable, something in hieroglyphs, something that sounds like the end of the world. Name it for the roar between your legs and for the women who will not be nameless here. Just bleed anyhow. Spill your impossible scripture all over the good furniture. Bleed and bleed and bleed on everything he loves. Period.
Bleed and bleed on everything he loves. Okay, don't do that. Don't bleed everywhere. But I think basically what this poem, what Dominique is trying to say is what I'm saying. Don't be ashamed about your period. And if you're a woman or a man and you make other women or girls feel ashamed about their period, then you are a trash human being. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's very sad, because I remember sometimes when I'd go somewhere, I would think about where I'm going, like who's gonna be there and whatnot, and I would be very worried about how I'm gonna hide my pad, or We're getting deep now. How I would hide my pad. Am I gonna put it like in a bag? Am I gonna put it in my chest pocket? I even googled ways to hide it, and I was just like, yo, do I have to go through all this trouble to hide something that almost every woman experiences and the mothers to all these men have experienced? Why am I going to, okay, like, I'm not saying I want to go out there and like, here's my pad, everyone, but then I'm saying, why must I go like I'm a top secret Russian spy to hide a pad? And I don't think I'm the only one and would be also like embarrassed or whatever, but like, it's just a pad, you know. And I watch this poem a lot, not a lot, like twice a year, to just get that confidence back. Like, bleed on everything he owns, bleed, we're going to war, okay? And yeah, be inspired, be empowered. And I think this poem is very empowering. It's just like, yes, I'm going to war with my uterus. So it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing to shame anyone else about. So yeah, I do like this poem. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and bleed on everything he owns. I know my mother's gonna text me after this video and be like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Thank you for watching. Bye.